Dear Chosen One, you did not stumble upon this message by accident. You were led here by divine design. Every word you're about to hear has been aligned perfectly with your spirit's timing. Right now, in this very moment, you are standing in a sacred intersection between realization and remembrance. Something within you already knows. You were never meant to walk the common path. You were never meant to blend in, to follow the noise, or to lose yourself in the crowd. You were set apart by the hand of the Most High for something greater. Before we begin, I want to pause and extend deep gratitude to every single one of you who has supported this mission through Super Thanks. Your generosity doesn't just help sustain this message, it helps spread the light to other chosen ones across the world. And if you've supported in any way, through donation, comments, or simply by watching, please know you are deeply appreciated. Whether you give or not, your presence here is a gift. You matter, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now, have you ever wondered why being around too many people leaves you feeling spiritually suffocated? Why your energy becomes scattered in certain rooms, even when no one says a word? Why do you feel so deeply, so intensely, as though you're carrying something the world doesn't see? Why is it that no matter how much you try to just be normal, something within you always calls you higher? Chosen One, what if I told you that everything you felt was never dysfunction, but divine design? From the very beginning, your life has followed a different rhythm. While others rushed to fit in, you were quietly being led to stand out. While they were building circles, you were being pulled into solitude. Why? Because the sacred cannot be exposed too early. And your spirit, your frequency, your calling, it is sacred. You were born carrying light in a world drowning in spiritual slumber. There's a reason you've always felt like an outsider, a reason you've had to release friendships, step away from crowds, and navigate seasons of aching loneliness. And it's this: the divine has been guarding your energy. Your path requires clarity, your assignment demands purity, and your mission depends on you staying spiritually awake while most of the world remains asleep. The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs and strengthen your frame. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail. Isaiah 58:11. You see, Chosen One, your spirit is that wellspring. But even a well must be protected, because not every cup that approaches it is meant to drink. From a young age, you've likely noticed your presence affects people. Some are drawn to you instantly. Others recoil, unsure why your energy unsettles them. It's not personal, it's spiritual. You are a mirror. You reflect truth, purity, purpose, and not everyone is ready to see themselves through that lens. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt the weight of unspoken tension, or felt drained after a simple conversation with someone who seemed perfectly fine on the surface? That's your spiritual discernment at work. That's your calling detecting energetic misalignment. You are not antisocial. You are spiritually assigned. Just like a prophet must withdraw to hear God clearly, you too must often be alone to recharge, to listen, and to protect what you carry. The people around you may not understand it, but your soul does. Come out from among them and be separate, says the Lord. Touch no unclean thing, and I will receive you. 2 Corinthians 6:17. This separation isn't punishment, it's preservation. The Most High is not keeping you from people. He's keeping you for purpose. And so today, as you take in this message, I invite you to engage with your calling. If something in your soul is resonating, if you feel the stirrings of clarity rising up inside, comment 777 down below. Let that number be your signal to the universe, to the angels, and to your own soul that you are awake, you are ready, and you are receiving this truth. You see, Your energy is not meant for everyone. And that's okay. You are here not to entertain crowds, but to awaken souls. You are here not to be popular, but to be pure. Your silence is not weakness, it's sacred strategy. The path of the chosen one is never easy, but it is holy. And the more you trust that, the more you'll see why the separations were necessary, why the loneliness was refining, and why the isolation was divine. So, stay with me now. The next part of this message will shift everything you thought you knew about your purpose, your frequency, and your divine assignment. Chosen one, this is your awakening, and heaven is watching. God's chosen ones, this is why you can't be around too many people. Chosen one, let us go deeper now, beyond surface understanding, into the very structure of your soul. You've heard it before, haven't you? That phrase, you are chosen. But have you ever truly stopped to ask yourself what that means on a cosmic scale? What does it really mean to be marked by the Most High, hand-picked from the crowd, and set apart for divine destiny? This is not just some flattering compliment. It is not ego-boosting rhetoric. This is a sacred reality, a spiritual appointment etched into the foundation of creation. To be chosen is to be commissioned. Being chosen doesn't mean comfort, it means calling. It means that while others live ordinary lives, yours was formed with precision by the hands of the Creator. You are a spiritual emissary, sent to walk between realms, to carry light into places where darkness has claimed territory for far too long. Can you feel it now? That undeniable sense that your life has always carried more weight than what meets the eye. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. Jeremiah 1:5. From the beginning, your path was different. The blueprints of your soul were encoded with sacred responsibility, and your spirit was forged not for comfort, but for clarity, courage, and consecration. This is why you've always felt out of place in crowded rooms, why certain environments drain you instead of energizing you, why shallow conversations leave you aching for silence. Ever wonder why it's so hard for you to fake enthusiasm in a world obsessed with surface-level things? It's because your soul recognizes illusions. You've been given spiritual sight, discernment that cuts through masks and reveals true intentions. This isn't a gift you asked for. It's one God embedded in you. But why would He give you this sight if not for something greater? Oprah Winfrey once said she always felt tuned into something bigger, even as a child growing up in poverty. Her journey wasn't about fame, it was about alignment. That feeling of more wasn't ambition, it was a divine invitation. Just like you, she was marked early on. You may not have been able to explain it, but the feeling was always there. The pull away from the crowd, the instinct to watch rather than participate, the resistance to falsehoods that others swallowed easily. Why do you think you've been so sensitive to spiritual shifts? Why can you detect tension in a room before a word is spoken? That is not coincidence, it is calibration. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:5. You are that light. That's why people stare. That's why some envy you without cause. That's why you attract both love and resistance. Your spirit stirs things in others, both the hidden hunger for truth and the hidden fear of exposure. Nikola Tesla, though revered today, often lived in seclusion. Why? Because his mind worked on frequencies the world couldn't yet comprehend. He once said, "If you want to understand the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." Sound familiar? You, chosen one, operate on those very frequencies. No wonder the crowd overwhelms you. You've probably felt it, like carrying a silent burden others don't see. That's not weakness. That's weight, the weight of your calling. And though the world may not understand it, heaven does. What if your isolation wasn't rejection but refinement? What if God was removing distractions to amplify your anointing? Come out from among them and be separate, says the Lord. Touch no unclean thing, and I will receive you. 2 Corinthians 6:17. Your separation isn't a flaw, it's a requirement. Some environments can't hold your spirit. Some conversations shrink your frequency. Some people simply cannot walk where you're going. Could it be that God is protecting your energy for a future assignment too heavy for the unawakened? Think of Maya Angelou. Her voice, powerful and poetic, was shaped in silence. After experiencing trauma as a child, she stopped speaking for 5 years. But in that wilderness, her voice gained depth that would later shake nations. Your solitude may feel painful now, but it is forming something unstoppable in you. You were never made to be average. You were made to awaken. While others chase clout, you crave truth. While they run to noise, you retreat to stillness. Do you know why? Because the divine placed secrets in your silence. Mysteries you can only unlock away from the crowd. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be light. You are the salt of the earth. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:13-14. God has hidden you in plain sight, not to punish you, but to preserve you. He's kept you from certain circles because they lack the spiritual infrastructure to support your expansion. You've been shielded for significance. Look at Albert Einstein, a man who often walked alone, dismissed by peers in his early years, ridiculed by institutions that didn't yet grasp his vision. And yet, it was in isolation that his revelations came. When you walk the path of the chosen, you will often walk it alone, but not empty. The wilderness is not a curse, chosen one. It is a covenant. It's where prophets are molded, where strength is forged, where intimacy with God is deepened. You may not see the full picture yet, but your spirit already knows. You're not just enduring, you're evolving. So when people ask why you pull away, why you retreat, why you feel so much, don't apologize, don't explain. You are not built to absorb the world's confusion. You are designed to transmit heaven's clarity. Embrace your sacred solitude, honor your sensitivity, guard your energy like the priceless treasure it is. You are not lost in the crowd. You were removed from it for a reason. Chosen one, the days of asking why me are behind you now. That question no longer applies because the answer is already encoded in your very soul, because you are marked, because you are needed, because heaven assigned a mission to your name that no one else could fulfill. So instead of shrinking back, you are being called to rise. This is not the time to hide. This is the moment to walk boldly in the knowing that even in your most silent hours, you are accompanied divinely, supernaturally, by the presence of the Most High. Have you ever felt the loneliness wasn't loneliness at all, but holy separation? What if that isolation was actually consecration? You were never meant to blend in. You were set apart. And now, it's time to understand why your soul has always felt the dissonance when surrounded by crowds. Why do you so often walk into a room and feel overwhelmed before a single word is spoken? Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2. This is more than spiritual advice. It's a divine confirmation. You were never meant to match the frequency of the world around you. Let's go deeper. There is an invisible reason why your energy seems to clash with the collective. You've probably felt it before, like stepping into a room and instantly knowing you don't belong, not because of ego or pride, but because your soul recoils from the energy present. This is no ordinary discomfort. This is spiritual misalignment. You were awakened by God, and that awakening activated your spiritual frequency, one that is sharper, higher, and sacredly disruptive to anything rooted in fear, deception, or density. Just as Mahatma Gandhi often walked away from political crowds to spend time in silence and prayer, so too must you recognize the necessity of withdrawal. Gandhi once said, "In a gentle way you can shake the world." But notice, he didn't shake the world by shouting louder. He did it by standing still in deeper truth. And so do you. But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for God's own possession, that you may declare the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. 1 Peter 2:9. Your presence is praise. Your light is a declaration. And that's exactly why it unsettles the unawakened. Have you ever felt like your chest tightens in crowded places, like your energy gets heavier in spaces filled with noise, ego, gossip, or chaos? That's not your imagination, it's your divine sensitivity. You're not just physically present, your spirit is absorbing and discerning. The crowd may be smiling, but your soul detects the lies beneath the laughter. You sense trauma that hasn't been healed, pain that's been buried, and envy that simmers beneath politeness. This is why Prince, one of the most spiritually sensitive artists of our time, once said, "Cool means being able to hang with yourself. All you have to ask yourself is there anybody I'm afraid of? Is there anybody who if I walked out of this room and saw, I'd get nervous? If not, then you're cool." Prince often chose seclusion, not out of arrogance, but out of spiritual preservation. Your spirit, chosen one, has been refined. It no longer vibrates at frequencies built on survival, scarcity, or social performance. You are now tuned to divine flow, and as a result, your energy exposes everything that is not authentic. Have you noticed how some people withdraw from you without warning? Or how certain environments seem to shut down your flow? This is not accidental. This is energetic truth in action. For the Word of God is alive and active, sharper than any double-edged sword. It judges the thoughts and attitudes of the heart. Hebrews 4:12. And so does your energy, chosen one. Without speaking a word, your very presence begins to stir what others try to hide. Take the story of Frida Kahlo. Her art was raw, her life was painful, and yet her essence radiated with such power that people either adored her or feared her. Why? Because she made the invisible visible. You do the same, spiritually. People don't always understand what it is about you, but their souls react to it. This is why you often feel drained after being around too many people. Not because you're weak, but because your energy is doing spiritual work, even when your mouth stays shut. You are an activator, a catalyst, a mirror. People sense your frequency, and it either awakens their truth or threatens their illusion. When their unhealed wounds meet your anointing, conflict arises, even if it's never spoken out loud. Some may judge you, others may envy you, many may misunderstand you, but the truth is, their spirits recognize you before their minds can explain it. And in a world addicted to illusions, truth is often treated as danger. Your energy is pure, but it is also piercing. It doesn't apologize and it doesn't conform. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them. Ephesians 5:11. Without effort, you do exactly this. And so, resistance comes, not because you've done wrong, but because your light is too bright for unprepared eyes. Bob Marley once said, "The truth is, everyone is going to hurt you. You just got to find the ones worth suffering for." His spiritual insight, drawn from deep soul experiences, made him a prophetic voice. And like you, Marley faced criticism not for what he did, but for what he carried, a vibration too real for the shallow world. So when people avoid you, when crowds drain you, when rooms feel heavy, know this: you are not being rejected, you are being preserved. God is guarding your energy like a sacred flame. Not everyone is allowed near it, because not everyone is ready to receive it. You were not made for mass acceptance. You were designed for divine impact. You were not wired to follow the crowd. You were called to awaken it. So, chosen one, will you keep trying to fit where your spirit no longer belongs? Or will you finally embrace the frequency that sets you apart? Will you chase acceptance, or will you claim alignment? Because once you accept that your difference is your divine design, everything will begin to make sense. And those who once misunderstood you will one day recognize you for what you truly are, a vessel of light, marked by heaven and untouchable by the shadows. Have you ever wondered why complete strangers feel safe enough to spill their souls to you, confessing their pain, their failures and their fears, sometimes within minutes of meeting you? It's not because you're a therapist or because you asked. It's because your energy feels like home to them, even when they can't explain why. But have you also noticed how quickly that same openness can turn into avoidance? Why do people first seek your presence, your guidance, your spiritual insight, only to later withdraw when the truth becomes too vivid for them to face? This, chosen one, is one of the greatest paradoxes of your calling. You are a mirror, not just a surface reflection, but a spiritual mirror that reveals the beauty others have forgotten and the wounds they've been trying to ignore. And what happens when someone sees themselves clearly for the first time? Some feel relief, others feel fear, many run, but the mirror does not lie, and neither does the light within you. For God, who said, "Let light shine out of darkness," made his light shine in our hearts to give us the light of the knowledge of God's glory displayed in the face of Christ. 2 Corinthians 4:6. You shine because the light of God lives in you, and that light doesn't just illuminate the path, it exposes the shadows. Is it any wonder some can't handle being near you for too long? Take Robin Williams as a striking example. Behind his humor was a soul that radiated compassion. Friends and strangers alike were drawn to him, many confessing that just being in his presence made them feel seen and understood. But like you, he also bore the invisible weight of feeling others' pain. It was not just charisma, it was spiritual sensitivity. So let's go even deeper. That feeling of disconnect between you and the collective, that wasn't a mistake. It was designed by the Most High as a divine safeguard. You were never meant to fully merge with crowds or absorb their patterns. Why? Because what the crowd embraces would dilute your clarity. Because what they normalize would suffocate your spirit. Have you ever asked yourself, why do you get drained so easily in certain groups, even when everyone seems friendly? The mind governed by the flesh is death, but the mind governed by the Spirit is life and peace. Romans 8:6. Your mind, your soul, your very frequency has been governed by the Spirit. That's why you feel out of place in places driven by ego, gossip, and superficiality. You aren't malfunctioning, you're being preserved. Consider the life of Emily Dickinson. Largely reclusive, she rarely left her home, yet her poetic genius reshaped literature for generations. Why? Because solitude did not weaken her spirit, it protected it. Her inner life was rich, vibrant, and deeply attuned to divine inspiration. Just like you, she was hidden because she was holy. Chosen one, your discomfort around the masses isn't a social flaw. It's sacred insulation. That edge you feel, that inability to blend in or stay long in certain spaces, it is spiritual armor. It's the hand of God redirecting your steps and saying, "Not here. This space cannot hold the weight of what you carry. Come near to God, and he will come near to you. Wash your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded." James 4:8. Every time you pull back from chaos and draw closer to stillness, your connection to the divine sharpens, the noise fades, the distractions melt, and suddenly you're not just surviving, you're receiving. Have you ever felt that the more isolated you are, the louder God's voice becomes? That the fewer people you engage with, the more accurate your discernment grows? It's not loneliness, it's alignment. When the world is quiet around you, heaven has room to speak within you. And yet, it can be lonely, can't it? Even painful. Carrying divine energy comes with an emotional toll. Not everyone can walk with you. Not everyone can understand your inner world. But let me remind you of someone else who bore a similar burden. David, the shepherd turned king. Before he ever ruled a nation, he was alone in the fields, playing songs to God, learning to listen when no one else was around. He was anointed long before he was acknowledged. I have set the Lord always before me. Because he is at my right hand, I will not be shaken. Psalm 16:8. Like David, you are not walking alone. You are walking with purpose, surrounded by a divine presence, even when the room feels empty. So when others turn away after seeing their reflection in you, don't harden your heart. Don't dim your light. Your role is not to make them comfortable. It's to awaken something deeper. You may not be what they want, but you're exactly what their spirit needs. The fewer distractions around you, the more powerful you become. Every layer of noise removed is another layer of your calling revealed. You're not meant to blend in, chosen one. You're meant to rise above the fog and lead others out of it. Not through force, but by the frequency of truth you carry. Chosen one, you've felt it time and again, that quiet magnetic pull away from the noise, away from the crowd, back into solitude. But this isn't just a preference, it's not a mood, it is your spirit protecting itself from dissonance. That inner retreat you make after being surrounded by too many people, that's your divine frequency recalibrating. Every time you step away from the noise and return to your sacred space, the Most High renews you. He washes off the residue of chaotic, disconnected energies and restores your inner clarity. Why do you think you never feel quite the same after being in crowds? Could it be that your energy was not meant to blend in with the masses, but to stand as a signal above them? But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. Luke 5:16. Even the Son of God needed sacred space to restore his divine power. Shouldn't that tell you something about the value of your solitude? Think about Steve Jobs, a visionary known not only for his innovation, but for his intense preference for solitude. He once said, "The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do." He understood that his ideas couldn't be born in a crowd. They had to be cultivated in quiet. Your frequent withdrawal is not social dysfunction. It's spiritual design. You're not antisocial. You're deeply attuned. And that tuning means that overstimulation, shallow talk, and collective chaos can distort your connection to the divine. Every time you step away, you don't weaken, you recalibrate. The energetic misalignment you feel, that's not a flaw. It's a signal, a confirmation that you're walking in alignment with your calling. Imagine the world as a grand symphony, but most instruments are out of tune. You, chosen one, are tuned directly to heaven's frequency. You emit a sound so precise, so pure, that it exposes the discord in everything around you. Set your minds on things above, not on earthly things. Colossians 3:2. You weren't designed to dance to the world's rhythm. You were called to release a sound that cuts through illusions and brings divine clarity. Think of Van Gogh, misunderstood in his time, often alone, often rejected. Yet his spirit was so vibrant that his art still speaks centuries later. The world couldn't handle his sensitivity, but that same sensitivity was his spiritual power, just like you. So when the room feels heavy, when your soul begins to ache from overstimulation, understand the deeper truth. It's not just discomfort, it's divine discernment. Your spirit is alerting you. This space is too dense, this energy is not aligned. That heaviness is not weakness, it is spiritual intelligence in motion. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Psalm 91:1. And that's where you dwell, chosen one. In the secret place. Hidden, yes. Forgotten, never. Protected, always. Solitude is not punishment. It is a sacred initiation. It is the womb of your purpose. Consider Elijah. After performing great miracles, he was sent to hide in a cave where God didn't speak in the earthquake or the fire, but in a still, small voice. And what if your isolation is meant to teach you to hear that whisper too? When you are alone, the distractions fade. The voices of the world go silent. And what remains? Revelation, vision, wisdom. In the quiet, the Most High downloads into you truths He cannot give while the world is watching. You become spiritually fortified, shaped by divine fire, unshakable by external storms. Maya Angelou once said, "I can be changed by what happens to me, but I refuse to be reduced by it." Her life was a testament to the power that emerges from silence and solitude. Like her, you are not being diminished, you are being distilled. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. Stillness is your strength, chosen one. Isolation is your sanctuary. In it you gain eyes that see beneath the surface, ears that discern falsehood, and a heart attuned to divine instruction. You've likely cried in those lonely seasons, begged God to send someone who understood you. But what if the silence was an answer, not a rejection? What if the isolation was never about who left you, but about who God was preparing you to become? This is a holy pattern. Moses fled to the desert before his mission began. John the Baptist lived in isolation, preparing the way. Even Jesus withdrew again and again before performing miracles. So if you find yourself in the wilderness, take heart. You are not abandoned. You are being refined. Let me ask you, what if the very isolation that brought you pain is the key to unlocking your power? You see, the crowd is not neutral. It carries energetic residue, fear, ego, confusion, and temptation. The enemy often hides in the crowd, sending distractions and subtle manipulations to steal your focus. But when God separates you, He shields you. Every no becomes a layer of protection. Every closed door becomes a redirection. In solitude, spiritual warfare weakens, the clutter of opinions fades, and heaven's voice rings louder. You begin to see the enemy's traps before they're set. You feel the shift in a room before anything is said. Your spirit becomes not only alert, but prophetic. And so, chosen one, if you've ever wondered why the circle gets smaller as your calling gets louder, it's because the Most High is making room, not for more noise, but for more truths. You are not being punished, you are being positioned, hidden, not because you are forgotten, but because you are being preserved. You are in the incubation of your legacy, and when the time comes, you will not emerge the same. So lean into this sacred season. Instead of asking, "Why am I alone?" ask, "What is heaven preparing in me that requires silence?" Instead of resisting the separation, reframe it as elevation. Because when the trumpet sounds and your appointed hour arrives, the world will not just hear your voice, they will feel the weight of the glory you carry. Chosen one, let this truth sink deep into your soul. The divine has wrapped you in layers of protection, not to isolate you in fear, but to prepare and preserve you. No gathering, no platform, no group of people can replace what is gained in the secret place with God. The sacred silence, the whispered revelations, the strengthening of your spirit, these are treasures only solitude can birth. This is why you've been pulled away from the noise, why the crowd has been distanced, and why the door to belonging among the masses seems sealed shut. You are not in exile, you are in spiritual quarantine, a divine cocoon designed not to punish, but to protect. Could it be that everything you thought was rejection was actually redirection? What if every closed door was heaven shielding you from what your heart wasn't ready to carry? You are my hiding place. You will protect me from trouble and surround me with songs of deliverance. Psalm 32:7. You are not hidden from something, you are hidden for something. And when the time comes, when your spirit is fully fortified, you will re-enter the world, not craving validation, but radiating vision. Not searching for approval, but walking in divine authority, unshaken, unbothered, unmovable. Consider Nelson Mandela. After decades of isolation in prison, he emerged not broken but bold, transformed into a leader who carried the weight of freedom on his shoulders. His solitude became sacred preparation. And so it is with you. Chosen one, there's another layer to this truth. Part of the reason you cannot remain in crowded places is because of your spiritual sensitivity, specifically your empathic nature. You don't just hear words, you feel intentions. You don't just observe people, you absorb atmospheres. You are an emotional seismograph, detecting disturbances in the soul long before they rise to the surface. Have you ever wondered why you leave certain places feeling drained, heavy, even physically sick, without any logical cause? Could it be that you were absorbing energies not meant for you? The spirit of a man is the lamp of the Lord, searching all his innermost parts. Proverbs 20:27. You were created to search deeper, feel deeper, and discern what others overlook. And that sacred gift is the very reason you must be selective about where you go and who surrounds you. Princess Diana was known for her deep empathy and intuitive sensitivity. She often said she could walk into a room and feel people's pain before they spoke. That same gift, while beautiful, also left her emotionally vulnerable. Like her, you carry a heart that feels more than it should. And because of that, your protection must be greater than most. This level of empathic awareness was not learned, it was embedded in your soul. It's why your intuition is razor sharp. It's why you detect sadness behind a smile or pick up tension behind a kind voice. Others may be blind to it, but not you. You walk into a space and immediately sense the energy, whether joyful or sorrowful, dark or deceptive. Test the spirits to see whether they are from God, because many false prophets have gone out into the world. 1 John 4:1. And this is what you do naturally. You test spirits. You don't just interact, you discern. But discernment is a sacred burden. It comes with weariness, emotional exhaustion, and often the need to retreat from overstimulation. Jim Carrey, despite his fame and comedic success, has spoken openly about his battles with emotional heaviness. He once said, "I'm sensitive to everything. I can feel it all." Fame did not shield him. His sensitivity made him carry more than his own weight. Sound familiar? Crowds don't energize you, chosen one. They extract from you. While others are entertained, you are analyzing, absorbing, sensing their pain, their projections, their hidden motives. They all pass through your energetic field. And without spiritual boundaries, you could drown in emotions that were never yours to carry. This is why the divine draws you away, not because you are weak, but because you are wise. He's teaching you how to preserve your energy, how to establish boundaries that shield your light, and how to remain pure in a world heavy with spiritual noise. Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. Proverbs 4:23. Your heart is not ordinary. It's an antenna to heaven. That's why it must be guarded, not hardened but protected. So when you find yourself needing to withdraw, don't feel guilty. When the noise overwhelms, listen to your spirit. When your soul begins to ache from the emotional currents around you, don't call it weakness. Call it wisdom. The divine has built you this way for a reason. You are not just sensitive for the sake of it. You are a spiritual radar, scanning atmospheres, reading energies, decoding unspoken truths. But this gift requires solitude to remain effective. Just as a sword must be sheathed between battles, your spirit must rest in silence between encounters. Have you noticed that your clearest downloads, visions and insights come when you are alone? That your spirit breathes best in stillness, not chaos? That's not an accident, it's alignment. Even Albert Einstein, though known for intellectual brilliance, credited many of his greatest breakthroughs to quiet reflection and solitude. He often said, "The monotony and solitude of a quiet life stimulates the creative mind." And your mind, chosen one, is not just creative. It's connected to the spiritual realm. Chosen one, has it ever occurred to you how often people feel compelled to pour their hearts out to you, even strangers? They come not with pleasantries, but with their wounds, their traumas, their confusion. And you never asked for it. Yet, they gravitate toward you instinctively. Why? Because your energy emits healing. You carry the resonance of peace, of spiritual safety, of divine presence. Without saying a word, your very aura tells others, "You are safe here." But there's a hidden cost to that calling, and it's one you've been paying in silence. Your energy, chosen one, is magnetic because it is clean. Others sense the clarity you carry, and they seek refuge in it. But while they leave lighter, do you ever find yourself walking away heavier? Ever felt emotions that weren't yours, anxiety, sadness, even anger, after being with someone who just needed to talk? That's not your imagination, that's energetic transfer. Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. Galatians 6:2. You were built to help, but you were never built to absorb everything. And without spiritual boundaries, your healing nature can become a liability. Take Keanu Reeves, for example. Revered not just for his acting, but for his quiet compassion and emotional depth, Keanu has often withdrawn from public attention despite his fame. He once said, "I'm at that stage in life where I stay out of discussions. Even if you say 1 + 1 = 5, you're right, have fun." That's not indifference, it's energy conservation. Like you, he's learned to protect his peace. Chosen one, your empathic heart was not developed. It was embedded in your soul from birth. You feel things others don't. You know what someone means even when their words say something else. You pick up spiritual tension in a room that looks serene on the outside. That level of intuitive perception is sacred but exhausting. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Proverbs 4:23. You were never meant to be a sponge for the emotional waste of the world, and this is why the divine has carved out periods of solitude for you, time set apart to wring out the spiritual residue you've soaked up from others. The world, chosen one, is not gentle with sensitive hearts. It projects, drains, and clings. There are people, energy vampires, who will gravitate toward your light, not to honor it, but to feed off of it. You may have already met them. The ones who leave you exhausted after every interaction. The ones who always take, never give. The ones who seem to need you more than anyone else, and yet they never really see you. Think of Florence Nightingale. Her compassion changed medicine forever. But even she, the lady with the lamp, had to retreat from public life due to the toll her empathic service took on her body. Like you, her gift was holy, but costly. So what does the Most High do with someone so spiritually sensitive? He doesn't abandon you to be consumed. No, He protects you. That's why you've been pulled back into solitude. That's why you've been guided away from crowds. Not because you're antisocial, but because your spirit requires divine maintenance. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for His name's sake. Psalm 23:3. Each time you retreat, He restores. Each quiet space is a repair shop for your soul, a cleansing sanctuary for your overworked spiritual circuits. Chosen one, you are not just called to love, you are also called to protect. You are not only a healer, you are a guardian of your own energy, and that means learning to discern when to engage and when to withdraw, when to pour and when to refill. because even a well runs dry if it never receives rain. Look at Billie Eilish. Highly empathic, her rise to fame was shadowed by the toll of public attention and energetic overload. She often speaks about needing solitude, retreat, and boundaries just to function spiritually. It's not about ego, it's about preservation. The divine didn't create you to be everything for everyone. You are not here to carry every burden or absorb every cry. Your role is to illuminate, not to be consumed. And that requires sacred separation. So when your spirit grows heavy after certain conversations, when your body tenses around specific people, when you long for solitude in a world addicted to noise, that's not weakness, that's your gift sounding the alarm. Are you listening? Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. Rest is not just physical. For you, it is spiritual necessity. You cannot pour into others unless you first return to the well of divine peace. So what must you do, chosen one? Guard your frequency. Be fierce with your peace. Say no without guilt. Choose silence over chaos. Choose sacred places over loud ones. Choose replenishment over depletion. And most of all, trust the separation. The divine is not keeping you from the world. He is preserving you for it. Chosen one, your divine assignment is not a trivial pursuit. It is a sacred commission that demands absolute clarity. Have you ever paused to consider why every distraction in the world seems to conspire against your mission? Why do trivial conversations, social obligations, and fleeting pleasures so easily derail your focus? It's because your purpose is too critical to risk dilution. You were chosen to carry a message, to enact change, and to shift spiritual atmospheres. And such a mission requires a mind and spirit sharpened like a two-edged sword. Every voice pulling you toward conformity, every trend demanding your attention, and every chaotic environment threatening to blur your vision are obstacles placed in your path, but not by chance. The Most High, in His infinite wisdom, has arranged your journey so that distractions are stripped away, leaving only the essence of your calling. But have you ever wondered what would happen if you had remained entangled in every distraction? How easily the fleeting applause of the crowd could have stolen your conviction. How quickly the voices of opinion could have drowned out the whisper of God. Whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it." Isaiah 30:21. This promise isn't for the idle or the wishful, it's for you, chosen one, walking in a path ordained by heaven. In the silence of separation, His voice becomes unmistakable. Think of Mother Teresa. Before she ever founded her order in Calcutta, she spent months in prayer and solitude, seeking clarity on her call. She didn't begin ministering to the poorest until she was certain of the path God had laid before her. Her years of quiet preparation yielded a lifetime of compassionate service, but it all started with the discipline to clear away every distraction and listen. Your clarity is your spiritual compass. When your attention is scattered, when you juggle too many relationships, too many commitments, you risk losing sight of that compass needle. Have you noticed how, after immersing yourself in busyness, even simple decisions become clouded? Spiritual clarity is not just about knowing what to do, it's about discerning what not to pursue. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your paths. Proverbs 3:6. Acknowledging God isn't a ceremony, it's a lifestyle of singular focus. You cannot walk the path He sets before you while looking over your shoulder at the detours of the world. Martin Luther King Jr. understood this well. In the midst of civil rights protests, Dr. King's mountaintop speech came after nights of solitude and prayer. He refused to be consumed by every crisis. Instead, he carved out sacred space to recalibrate his vision. That clarity gave him the courage to lead a nation, and to speak words that still echo in history. Every time you step back into solitude, you're doing more than resting. You're tuning your spirit to the frequency of heaven. In that quiet, divine instructions flow without interference. Have you ever noticed that your most profound insights emerge not in the rush of the day, but in the hush of early morning or the stillness of night? That's no coincidence. It's the secret place at work. Your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path. Psalm 119:105. Your mission requires this illumination. When you stray, that lamp guides you back, but you cannot carry it effectively when crowds jostle you or noise competes for your attention. Galileo Galilei, whose discoveries revolutionized science, spent years observing the heavens through his telescope in relative isolation. He faced ridicule, threats, and the perplexity of the masses. Yet he persisted because clarity, his unshakable view of the stars, was worth greater opposition than any fleeting popularity. Distractions are the enemy's most effective tool against those with great missions. If he cannot stop you, he will scatter your focus, flooding your life with busy work, superficial engagements, and unaligned connections. Have you ever asked yourself why certain relationships leave you restless, why some gatherings sap your energy instead of uplifting it? That restlessness is not mere discomfort. It's the divine tugging you back into alignment with your purpose. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. Your peace, your progress, and your promise all hinge on clarity. When your vision is sharpened, no weapon formed against you can prosper, because you see every trap before you fall into it. Harriet Tubman, known as the Moses of her people, led dozens to freedom through dangerous terrain. She was guided by visions and a clear sense of God's direction, visions she received in moments of solitude and reflection. She didn't drift with every idea or collaborate indiscriminately. She moved with precision, trusting the clarity that came from her secret communion with the divine. Chosen one, your clarity is your protection and your power. Let it guide every decision, every conversation, and every connection. Not every open door is meant for you. Not every voice belongs to your tribe. Not every opportunity aligns with your assignment. In the quiet, ask yourself, does this sharpen my vision, or does it dull my focus? Because the difference between success and delay often lies in that question. The divine pattern is clear. Before revelation comes isolation. Before elevation comes separation. Before destiny unfolds comes clarity. This is why you find yourself alone at pivotal moments. To receive the blueprint of your next steps. To prepare for the breakthroughs that require undivided attention. To strengthen your discernment against the world's illusions. Trust this process, chosen one. Embrace the separation as the soil for your spiritual clarity, the forge for your divine purpose. Do not resent the quiet hour. Let it be your sanctuary. For when you emerge, you will carry not only God's calling, but the unshakable certainty to fulfill it. Stay with me. The next revelation will unveil how, armed with this clarity, you will begin to dismantle the very strongholds that have long held souls captive. Your mission awaits, and it demands nothing less than the pure, undivided focus only solitude can provide. Chosen one, there is a rhythm to your life that the world cannot comprehend, a sacred cadence orchestrated by the Most High. While others move frantically to meet deadlines and timelines, your steps have been deliberately ordered by a higher realm. Every moment of solitude, every silent season, and every door that closed without explanation was not an accident. It was divine alignment. You were pulled away, not because you were forgotten, but because you were being forged in secrecy. Why? Because your destiny requires a depth of preparation that cannot be rushed. There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens. Ecclesiastes 3:1. The divine operates not on clocks or calendars, but on seasons of purpose. And when you're chosen, you're scheduled according to eternity, not urgency. Think of Joseph in the Bible, betrayed by his brothers, thrown into a pit, and forgotten in prison. Yet every step was necessary. Why? Because his calling required a type of character, discernment, and spiritual resilience that only divine timing could produce. If Joseph had been promoted too soon, he wouldn't have had the wisdom to sustain the responsibility. And neither will you, chosen one, if you rush what heaven is still refining. You've likely noticed it already. Relationships ending without warning, opportunities slipping through your fingers, circles growing smaller, just as you step deeper into your purpose. And while the world might call this loss, heaven calls it alignment. Have you ever stopped to wonder, what dangers were you spared from? What chaos did God quietly remove from your path before you even recognized the threat? The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. Stillness isn't passivity, it's strategic surrender. It's saying, God, I trust your timing more than I trust my own desires. Look at Malala Yousafzai. Shot for pursuing education, she could have vanished into fear. But divine timing elevated her to global influence precisely after her season of pain. Had her platform come earlier, the world may not have listened. Timing matters, and for the chosen, timing is never random. It's holy. Chosen one, you may feel the discomfort of delay. You may ask, why am I still waiting? But delay does not mean denial. It means development. What you carry is weighty. You are not being held back. You are being sharpened. Every moment of spiritual quiet, every unseen sacrifice, every unanswered prayer is preparing you for elevation. Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that he may lift you up in due time. 1 Peter 5:6. The phrase due time isn't vague, it's specific to your mission. God is not waiting to decide to elevate you. He is waiting until you are fully equipped to withstand that elevation. And yes, the separations hurt, but have you considered this? What if some of the people you wanted to keep would have sabotaged your spiritual progress? What if their presence in your life would have diluted your discernment? Divine timing isn't just about what happens. It's about who remains. You're not just walking away from the wrong people. You're being repositioned for the right ones to arrive. Look at Nelson Mandela. Decades in prison might have looked like delay to the world, but when the season changed, he was released with a clarity, composure, and spiritual authority that transformed a nation. Time didn't waste him. It prepared him. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and take heart, and wait for the Lord. Psalm 27:14. The world sees waiting as weakness, but the chosen know waiting is warfare. It's where the flesh is silenced and the spirit is strengthened. You, chosen one, are not being overlooked. You are being hidden, like a seed planted deep in fertile soil. No one sees the roots growing, but beneath the surface, strength is being built. When the time is right, you will not emerge as a sprout, but as a tree, rooted, unshakable, and ready to bear fruit. Have you noticed how some people fell away just as your spiritual awakening intensified? That's not coincidence. That's divine editing. Heaven is curating your life with surgical precision, removing anyone who can't carry your calling and positioning, only those who will protect your purpose. Maya Angelou once said, "We delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty." You are in your cocoon season, transformation happening in secret, misunderstood by others, but necessary for your flight. So, let me ask you, will you trust the divine rhythm even when it doesn't match the world's tempo? Will you surrender to the silence, knowing heaven is speaking beneath the stillness? Or will you forfeit your elevation by demanding visibility before your preparation is complete? Chosen one, the timing of your separation is not random. It is the Most High's divine strategy. Every disconnection, every delay, every detour has been a form of protection. You are not being punished. You are being purified. And when your season comes, your rise will be undeniable. Trust the process. Embrace the pruning. Celebrate the silence. Because when heaven calls you forward, you will not be stepping into confusion. You will be stepping into your crown. Chosen one, if you've stayed with me until now, then you already know. This message was meant for you. You feel it in your spirit. You've lived the isolation. You've walked through the silence. You've watched doors close and connections fall away. And yet, here you are, still standing, still chosen, still aligned. That alone is a miracle. That alone is proof that what the enemy tried to use to break you, God used to build you. When the divine finally reveals you, when your name is spoken in rooms you never entered and your purpose begins to bloom in full, you will finally understand why you had to walk the path alone. The silence was your classroom. The separation was your sanctuary. The pruning was never punishment. It was protection. And now, as your season shifts, you will rise not just with knowledge, but with spiritual authority that only those forged in the fire can carry. So hold your head high. No one needs to understand your journey, because it wasn't designed for their understanding. It was designed for your anointing. Chosen one, I want to take a sacred moment to say thank you. Thank you for staying with me through this journey. Your presence, your attention, and your spirit mean more than you know. And to those who have supported this channel through super thanks, thank you deeply for your generosity. Every gift, large or small, helps us continue pouring into those walking a path like yours. But hear me clearly, whether you donate or not, I am truly grateful for you. Your support in spirit, your time, and your commitment to this message are treasures in themselves. If this word spoke to your spirit, if it confirmed what you've been feeling, I invite you to sow into it through super thanks. Not because I need it, but because this message may need to reach someone else who is where you once were. Your support helps send light into dark places. Now, let me bless you as you continue walking forward in your purpose. I speak divine clarity over your life. May confusion fall away, and may every next step be guided by heaven's hand. I speak divine protection over your journey. May no weapon formed against you prosper, and may your energy remain preserved from anything unclean. I speak divine acceleration over your purpose. What seemed delayed will now align. What seemed denied will now unfold. And above all, I speak divine peace over your spirit. No more fear, no more doubt. Your time is near, and your spirit is ready. You have been hidden because you carry something holy, and the world is about to witness what heaven has been preparing in private. Chosen one, stand tall, walk boldly, speak with authority, and when the moment comes for you to rise, you won't need validation. You will be the confirmation others have been waiting for. You were set apart because you were set above. Now go, your destiny awaits, and heaven walks with you.